Hey, 24/7 Marriage family, welcome to the Field Guide for Marriage podcast.
You got it.
I got it. I am Javier. I'm
and
here with
now
my beautiful wife.
I'm going to talk to Zach, our producer.
Shannon.
Zach, we should change the name of the podcast.
Now that he got it, let's change it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Yeah. This has been a podcast marathon, but it's good.
But there's also been a lot going on. A lot of travel. We're moving and a lot of things going on. So
let's see. We finished Texas boot camp.
Sure.
We've spoken. We did 2 workshops. You preached on a Sunday morning up in California with our
there's a lot
church.
going on.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on. But it's all good. You like when we're moving and grooving.
Yeah, I do better with all that.
And I like when things slow down.
Yeah. No. I want things to be. I do. It's because I like constant change and things going. So I need to.
Yes.
I want to see that happen. So, I just want to say, like, we're grateful for each of you who tune in, who listen, following us. You are why we do what we do, to be able, hopefully, to bring resources, support, encouragement, and that's really why we do this podcast and everything that we do at 24/7 Marriage, is that you would experience the fullness of what God has for you in your marriage. And we want to be those guides who walk around, help you flip your marriage, and help you see restoration. And if you need a refresh, or you need a complete reset, or you're tying that last knot on your marriage rope, we want you to know that we are here, and we are for you. And we hope that even just a little bit, it could be one piece from something you hear, listen, that you read, whatever it may be, that has an incredible impact upon you, upon your marriage. And we know that your marriage will have a generational impact, but you're going to choose what that looks like.
Yeah.
You're going to choose what that looks like. And especially like for you men that are out there, like I've said it before, that a good legacy is intentional. You're going to choose what that looks like as you move forward. Every choice, every decision, everything you do is going to have an impact upon your marriage. So how are you living today, and how are you showing up in your marriage? And it's part of what we're going to talk about today, because we're going to talk about men today, and men going passive. But first, we got to do what's in your backpack.
We should come up with
What's
a jingle.
in your backpack?
No, that's Dora the Explorer.
Oh,
we're not going
all
to do that, Javier.
I don't know why it's in my head.
Okay, Javier, here's your question. And I hope you tell the story, because I can't wait. What's your most embarrassing moment as an adult?
I've had many, but I don't know which one did you want me to tell.
You've had many? I wouldn't say that you've had many. Please enlighten the audience. How many have you had?
I mean, I was embarrassing as a man when I had to chase my truck down the street because it took off on us, and I broke 2 ribs chasing it down the street.
Well, that's not embarrassing. That
kind
was
of,
like
because there were people watching. There were people watching, and as a guy, you got this big truck, and the truck took off down the street, and now I'm not sure. I've got to go catch it.
No, I was talking about the time when I was 9 months pregnant, and we were in May Company.
So we were in a department store.
Macy's.
And I'm wearing my nice Dockers khakis, right?
Nice khakis.
I don't know why I wore those. But, with pleats in them.
But I was 9 months pregnant, and I needed a nursing bra, and the one that I needed was on the bottom rack.
Well, it was
and bending over to grab it was not happening at 9 months pregnant.
Yeah, so I went down to grab it, and as I got up, I hooked my pants on one of the racks, and I ripped it right down the middle in the bra department. And embarrassing, yes. I wasn't wearing any underwear, so it was really embarrassing. No, I'm kidding. I was wearing underwear.
So when we go to pay for the bra...
You want me to tell the story?
Because I'm afraid you're not going to tell it right, so and it's so good.
So we go to pay, and I just said something to the effect of like, hey, I tore my pants. Your racks are really close together. Like, you should probably adjust that a little bit so someone else doesn't get hurt. And she's looking at me like kind of weird, and all of a sudden she turns around and she starts calling the manager to come. I'm like, what are you calling the manager for? And all of a sudden the manager comes, and he wants to see my pants. He's like, I don't really want to show you my pants, but okay, here's what happened. Then he calls another manager over. Now there's 2 managers looking at my hole in my rear end.
Literally in his rear end.
But, I got a free pair of pants out of it.
Yeah.
Another free pair of Dockers.
Yeah.
So...
I'm so glad that
the way
you
I
don't
used to
wear
dress,
Dockers.
it's so sad.
It
so
is.
sad. And what's an embarrassing moment for you?
I don't know. I was so focused on you ripping your pants that I didn't even think about an embarrassing moment. Okay, this is really embarrassing. Long story short, I thought about going back to work when the girls were really little. I thought I was going to go back to teaching preschool. And I went to this preschool to interview for this job. And I run into my brother's ex-wife, who I haven't seen in 10 plus years, right? And she's teaching in another classroom. Now, she comes up to me. She's like, Shannon. And I was like, Chris, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in forever. How are you? And
No, you look down.
And I put my hands on her stomach and I said, when is this precious miracle going to be?
You're pregnant.
Oh my gosh, you're pregnant. When is this precious miracle coming? You guys, she wasn't pregnant.
She goes, I'm not pregnant.
I think maybe she had too much Del Taco. I don't know. But she was not pregnant. It was
You can't shrink back
the
quick enough or
worst
leave quick enough.
moment. I felt horrible. I was like, I'm never working at this school. I am not taking this job, and I'm going to stay at home and be a stay-at-home mom and hide my face in shame forever. And what did I learn? I learned that you never touch or ask a woman anything, even if you're pretty sure she's going to have triplets any second now. You don't ask. You're like, you look great
Not
to me.
until she says anything.
Nope. I'm not asking. Nope. Not saying anything. But I didn't just ask. I touched her stomach.
Yeah.
Do you know how embarrassing that is,
It
Javier?
Yeah. I felt it for you. Yeah, no, we've had other embarrassing moments and stuff like that. So yeah, we do stuff. So
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking with the whole truck thing that the
Okay,
marriage by
I
the
never
fifth
saw
wheel,
that as an embarrassing moment more than
well,
I
felt it only because there was
scared
people
you
that
were gonna die.
watching. There were people that were watching.
I
and
know.
people in the rigs, and you're like, that's just dumb. Like that's embarrassing that I would do that. And then to tell the story, like chasing my truck and I broke 2 ribs doing it, jumping in and like.
But
yeah.
the coolest part of that story was once we got on the road and your adrenaline came down a little bit, I looked at you and I go, you were kind of badass back there. And you were like, yeah. And it was just like you had this adrenaline in your voice. You're like, yeah. And I was like, whoa. And it was like reliving like what just happened because it could have gone so wrong. But everybody's good. Javi slept sitting up in a chair for 6 weeks till he healed,
3
but
weeks,
it's all good.
Anyways, yeah. I know we were going to jump into a topic like men were coming at you in this topic of when men go silent, like the cost of passivity. And there's a lot of nuances to this, but when a man goes silent in his marriage, in his family, in his walk with God, like it doesn't just leave a gap. It doesn't just leave this space. It creates a wound. It creates hurt. It creates distance. And then when there's that wound or when there's that gap and when there is silence, like the enemy will come in every single time. And sometimes, people think passivity isn't neutral. It isn't. Oh, I'm saying passivity isn't neutral. It isn't neutral. It's permission for the enemy to operate in your home when you grow passive. And we have seen it firsthand when men go silent, when men go passive. And there's times when men do this simply for the fact that I don't know what to do or how to engage. Listen, that could have been my story because you're a strong woman. Like, you know who you are. You're confident. And I could have easily shrunk back and just said, oh, okay, all right, you just do what you need to do. And even in your strength and even in your, like, who you are, and even in that moment, in those moments early on in our marriage when you're like, no one's going to tell me what to do. Like you still were crying out to be led. Yeah. You were still crying out to be led. Yeah. And that was still my responsibility. But some men go passive also. I'm jumping ahead, I know, but I'm just going to go. That some men grow passive because they don't know. They're told to lead and they don't know how. And for me, I think the American church has done a poor job in teaching men how to lead. Yeah. And again, some do it well, but they stand in the pulpit and they say, "Men, you need to lead. You need to lead as Christ calls you to lead." And they're like, "I don't know what that looks like." Okay, tangibly, how? What is that? And hopefully we'll touch on some of that as we go through this conversation. But they're asking that question, like, I didn't have an example of a father. I don't know what that looks like. So tangibly, what does that look like for me to actually like lead in my home? I don't know. So sometimes when they don't, they pull back.
Yeah.
They shrink back. Like, how have you seen it play out? Like in women you've talked to when they have men who have gone quiet, who have gone silent, gone passive. And it could be for multiple reasons. We'll touch on those, but what have you seen? Because I'll just keep talking. So.
Well, when you have a husband who goes silent, then you typically have a wife who can become overbearing, over controlling, and fall into a masculine role.
Yeah, a role she wasn't meant to fulfill.
It's counterfeit because she was created to fall into a feminine role that God called her into. But because her husband's not leading, she leads from a place of this counterfeit masculinity.
Yep.
And what she's truly crying out for is to be led, but her actions actually demean and diminish her husband. So
Why?
her actions, what?
Why? Like how?
Because they become overbearing and over controlling. You're not going to lead. I'll lead. I'll make the decisions. I'll decide how we spend our money. I'll decide when we go to church, and I'll make all the decisions. And these husbands shrink back, and they're like, well, she's going to lead anyway, so might as well just let her have the reins.
Or if he tries to, I know I'm jumping ahead here, but
And
if he tries to and doesn't do it
her way, because we become control freaks and we believe that we've become professionals in how everything should be run and how everything should go. And when our husbands don't meet our expectation, we send them out to pasture. We're like, nope, we're just going to keep leading. We'll take the reins back. You're not doing it the way I want you to. You're this healing isn't going the way I wanted it to. This marriage isn't going the way I wanted it to. When you lead me, I would like you to lead me this way.
Yeah.
And what we're doing is we're stripping our husbands of their masculinity. We're stripping them of the very thing that God placed in them, the very thing that we were called to protect, to guard, guide, and govern over. To guard means that we put something around it, protect it. To guide it is to come alongside you and help guide you in the very giftedness God called you to. And to govern it means that I don't have dominion over what God called you to do. Like, that's not my gifting. My gifting is to come alongside you, elevate you, praise you. I want to be your biggest fan. Yeah. You are the best version of yourself, Javier, when I get to be your cheerleader, when I get to be the loudest voice and be like, you are awesome. You're rocking it. You're killing it. I love how you're leading our family. I love how you're praying over our kids and how you're financially providing and putting a roof over our home. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much for doing that. What does that do for a heart of a man?
A man is never more a man than when he has the love and the support of his wife, to know that she's his biggest fan and cheerleader. I mean, that causes me to rise to the level of how she's honoring and respecting me. Like, I want to become a better man. Like, it challenges me. And even if I'm not doing it right, they say, like, honey, that's okay. Like, let's figure this out together. Yeah. But
what do you always say at boot camps?
What would I say?
Your one saying about you'd climb a...
Oh, I would climb a mountain of razor blades to hear you say, like, you're the man, you have what it takes. Like, words of affirmation, right? For me, that's important to me. But you touched on, like, sometimes why some of the men go passive. It could be a fear of conflict, afraid to rock the boat, so they choose quiet over confrontation. Or if they've tried to step out in the lead, they've been told they're doing it wrong. And so what happens, like you just said, so some men will just then shrink back. Well, if I'm doing it wrong, then why even try? Like, why? If she says I'm going to do it wrong. So they slowly then, and that's exactly what the enemy would want to do. And I'm not just saying the enemy has control over your the wife, but like, that's a tool. You see, like, you're not going to do it right. Yeah. You see, it's true about what your father says. So for me, like, I believe masculinity is bestowed from father to son. Yeah. And
unpack that. Talk about that.
Well, for me, like, it that was a struggle for me growing up. I doubted my value, my worth, my identity. Like, and it just, like, because of things that at times, and I talked to my mom about it, and she probably listens to the podcast, and I love you, Mom. There's been a lot of healing in this area. But I would get stuff like, you're going to wear that going out? Is that what you're going to look like? So I always felt I needed to earn the approval of people. It was comparison. I always felt that I needed to actually compare myself against other men, and like, do I really have what it takes?
But
because my dad didn't affirm that because he didn't know. He just did what his father knew.
Yeah, exactly.
And he passed it on. He just saw what his dad did, and that's what he was doing. And he was I love my dad. He was a good man, a good husband, and a father. But like, that area was, he didn't do that. I sat with him with a group of guys. I said, Dad, I've held this against you because you didn't come in and say, no, son, you do have what it takes, and affirm that. And so I grew up like just feeling I needed to get the acceptance, the affirmation. It wasn't of women, it was of men. Like, hey, do you think you picked me for your team? I must be cool. Like, I must be good now. You want to hang out with me? Oh, that's validation right there. And so there was times when early on I went a little quiet and passive because do I really have what it takes in this marriage? There was times early on when we were navigating those first 5 years where I would just maybe be a little bit more silent and passive. I wouldn't be unloving. I was still there, engaged with the kids and all that. But I'm like, well, this is exhausting. So I would shrink back a little bit, which wasn't healthy and wasn't right. Silence is not a healthy strategy. Like, silence is not a strategy. Silence doesn't make the problems disappear. It just lets them grow in the dark is what it does. And so we've seen too many men who have become silent and become apathetic and who shrink back. And that is not healthy, and that is not good in any way. I think why also men go passive at times is shame and insecurity. Like feeling that they've already failed.
Yeah.
So they pull back instead of stepping up, right? I mean, come on, we remember Adam hiding in the garden because of shame. Yeah. And still men hide today. And that's the crazy thing, right? When God came, he didn't ask Eve, what did you do? Like, he asked Adam, what have you done? Mm-hmm. Because he had a responsibility. Yeah. And so there's shame and insecurity. And I think men go passive because they choose comfort over calling. And it's easier to check out, to Netflix, phone, hobbies, than to engage in the hard work of leading and loving your spouse well. Yeah. Like, passivity seems it's easier in the short term when you don't know what to do. But in the long term, it is absolutely devastating to our marriage. Like we've said it, I've seen men who have gone quiet and apathetic. And I've seen it with, sometimes it's with a strong woman, sometimes it's not, but they have shrunk back. Yeah. And here's the thing that, when they're not investing emotionally, especially when they go passive, men, when you go passive, like, it is devastating. I mean, to feel alone and emotionally disconnected when you're not with your spouse anymore is one thing. It's hurtful. But to feel alone and emotionally disconnected when you're still married is devastating to a spouse, to your wife.
I've actually heard husbands and wives talk about that and say that it's almost worse than physical abuse. Yeah. To have an emotionally absent spouse almost is more painful. Yeah. Yeah. In some regards.
Yeah. And that's that emotional part, like for men, sometimes why they settle into some passivity is like, I don't know how to do that. I'm not an emotional guy. I don't know how to share and do that. I didn't see that growing up. Yeah. So, and they equate it like I have to have these big emotions and these tears.
Or they have to cry all the time or something.
And that, like, really being able to talk about where you're at, that can be difficult. And it's a very vulnerable thing for a guy. I get that. But oftentimes, men, your wife just wants you sitting across the table. And if you make the eye contact and you sit there and you're present and you're just listen, and then you ask a question afterwards, like, I mean, that is huge that they feel this emotional connection. And even if it's a struggle for you to share like what you're feeling, say, I really don't know, but I when I'm ready, I want to talk about it. Like, there's a way to process all of that. I think we're going to do a podcast about emotions and how do you process and how do you talk through those things. But oftentimes that is a difficult area for men. And so they will retreat instead of moving into it, especially if like, you never share with me, you never share emotions, you don't do this. Like, it doesn't leave room or space for him to come to the table and feel like he can do that.
Well, no, because he's already not winning. So why is he going to sit down and engage in that conversation? But there is something I want you to touch on for the men listening to this podcast, and that it's very countercultural for men to reach out to other men, for that mentorship, for that accountability, for that deep friendship. Men are on the surface are really great at small talk. If you have a party of all kinds of mixed people, usually it's the women who are a little guarded. They don't engage right away. But the men, once they open a beer or something, they could talk about the weather, their job, a sport, or whatever.
Because us as men, typically, we do it shoulder to shoulder. Like, shared activity is like we get to open up, like we're fishing, we're going on a hike, whatever we're doing. Like, shared activity is how we bond, and shared activity is how we might have that conversation.
Yeah.
The most freeing thing for me is being able to find those couple of guys where I can be truly real and authentic. Because I think inside every man is a little boy crying out to be seen, to be heard.
Yes.
And most men will not admit it. Right? But they do want to talk. There is stuff going on. They've been told, no, that's you don't do that. No, you hold it in. You don't show the emotion. No, absolutely not. There is cathartic. It is freeing when a man can lock arms with another guy and say, I am not okay.
Yeah.
And if you can be that for another guy to come to that table and say, hey, listen,
like,
it's okay to not be okay with me. Like, there's no judgment. Like, what is going on? Like, to call men to account, to sit with them, like, that is incredibly healthy and needed. Because if you see a man who is in a place where he's apathetic and passive, bro, call him out. Like, if you have that relationship, call him out. That is so needed. And I think for a lot of guys, like, if they're not sitting in a circle with a group of guys, I don't care if you're sitting in the circle, fire pit, you got a cigar and a whiskey, do it. Have a conversation. Like, whatever it may be, and it could be scary, but the thing is, that's going to break that cycle for you because you need other men. Because I may tell you something, you're like, that makes no sense to me whatsoever. I don't get that.
Yeah.
I'll go and I'll tell another guy, and he'll be like, oh, bro, totally yes,
get it.
Absolutely. I get that. I understand that.
Yeah.
Because we're wired differently.
Yeah.
And
but for you, I would say that early on in our marriage, that wasn't the case. You did not have a lot of close guy friends. You were very standoffish, probably because of insecurities of not fully trusting people. But now I get to reap the benefits of the healthy relationships you have with men in your life, because you have that sounding board, you have that person you can talk to and share with. And for those men listening, I'm glad that you shared, because I want them to know the importance of that and of finding those men. So for those men that are listening, it's like they might be people you work with. They could be people in your neighborhood. They could be people that you're on a softball team with, or your small group. But look for men who have character, who have integrity, who have a marriage that they honor their wife, they respect and cherish her. Those are great qualities that you want to look for the fruit in somebody's life and be like, hey, can we like grab coffee one day or just find ways to connect? And I know culture tells you otherwise, but I'm telling you that one of the greatest benefits that's helped our marriage was those people on the outside of our marriage
who had permission to speak into it.
Yes, that have helped so much.
So for this could be for anybody, but like for you guys who are listening, like, how do you spot that passivity? If that's what you're seeing right now, you're unsure, like recognize that. Don't go to your husband and say, like, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. If you see it, you need to have that conversation and get like what it would look like for us to, honey, to talk about. I feel like, are you okay? Like, this is what I'm seeing right now. Like, how can we do this together? Like, this is, so you need to, like, if you see silent withdrawal, like physically present but emotionally absent, like not engaging in like conversations that matter, that's a sign. Avoiding leadership decisions. Letting the wife carry the full spiritual weight of the home.
Yes.
And then, or always saying like, oh, whatever you want, whatever you want,
Yeah.
whatever you want. And that becomes the default answer. You can spot it by their ignoring their spiritual life. No prayer, covering of the family.
I think it manifests itself physically too in how you take care of yourself too.
Oh, absolutely.
Is a sign.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Telltale
No guarding
sign.
of the home. Influences, like, you just said it, like, but we've always said for men, your responsibility is like the priest, prophet of your home, guide, guard,
Yes.
to govern, to be the gatekeeper of your home.
Yes.
And by the way, there's a new course coming out on that, of being the gatekeeper of your home. Living in distraction mode, like that place where hours on devices and hobbies and going out, and you're disengaged and you're becoming passive. And, when you walk out the door and your wife says like, oh, you're going to go play golf again? It's not really her nagging you about golf. What she's actually saying is,
Just craving
hey,
your time.
I'm craving time. You've been disconnected. I want to be here with you. We always say behind every complaint is a wish or a want.
Yep.
Behind every complaint is a wish or a want. Like, what is she actually saying to you in that moment? So there is a cost to passivity. Like, your silence speaks. As a man, your silence speaks loud. When you don't speak life, the enemy will speak lies if you don't speak life to your wife, to your kids, and even to you. You lose authority by abandoning responsibility. You really do. Like, God gave Adam authority over the garden. But in his silence, the serpent was left unchecked because he was silent and stood there. You cannot protect what you're unwilling to fight for.
Oh,
If you're not willing to
preach.
fight for it, you cannot
whoa,
protect it.
I need that.
I'll put it on a t-shirt for you. You cannot protect what you're unwilling to fight for. Period. So
Fire.
you'll lose that authority.
Fire.
And if you're passive, men, if you are passive, who is paying the price for that? The next generation is paying the price for your passivity. Passive men raise children who think leadership is optional and faith is casual. And that is not okay. If you're a passive man, and I know I'm hitting you hard right now.
I think you need
like
a pulpit.
it is not an option. Like, it is going to impact that next generation. And you can rise up out of this, because the enemy is going to try to gain ground, division in your marriage, spiritual apathy in your home, like emotional disconnection. That is how he's going to try to gain ground and try to move towards you. So you have to break free from this. We have to break free from it. And men who have gone on the other side of this and broken out of apathy and passivity, yes, you have to step up. It is time to rise up into your proper place that God has called you into, in that place of leadership. And you don't know how, then gather men around you, ask questions, say, I am stuck in this place. I know I'm disengaged. I can see it in my wife and my kids. I'm scared. I don't know how to do this. I feel like I'm stuck. I'm stuck in my career. And oftentimes when men don't feel like they're providing well or leading well, or when men feel like, man, I don't know if I have what it takes, or I have failed my wife, instead of moving towards the person that is called to help them and support them, we withdraw, we pull back, because I don't feel like I'm okay or I'm good for you. But I want to tell you that you are, and you are enough, because God says that you are enough.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you that you do have what it takes as a man. So you got to step into that rightful place, that
And
even if
fight
there's
for your
brokenness,
marriage.
even if you're experiencing this in your marriage, fight.
Yeah.
Fight. Get the help that you need. Reach out to other men and walk alongside them. Come before your wife, repent and re-engage.
Yeah.
Go before God. Call what it is what it is. If it's sin, it's sin.
Man, if I had a hanky right now, I'd wave it.
Right? No, it is sin, right? Not personally, not introversion. It is sin. And 1 Corinthians tells us, be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men, and be strong. It tells us that in Scripture, to act like men and to be strong. Ask your wife, in what ways have I not been showing up anymore? She will tell you. She will tell you, in what ways have I not been showing up anymore? And how do I need to get back to those areas where I used to do whatever it may be and I haven't been doing it?
Listen, us wives, we do not want another child to take care of. We do not want to parent
Yeah.
you. We want a partner and we want a man
Yeah.
to lead.
Yeah.
Even though our body language or our words could be saying something else, are inherently the way we were hardwired and created by our Heavenly Father is we desperately want you to lead.
Yeah. Yeah.
We crave it.
Yeah, absolutely. And when they do, reward them, wives. When it's a small thing, like they say, let's go to
Praise
church.
them.
You see them praying, say, thank you so much. Like you seeing you praying, God, that meant so much.
Oh,
to me.
we don't say this, Javi. Finally, you're taking your
No,
family
you
to
don't
church.
say that.
That's not a good thing to say.
No.
Oh, okay, good.
But by saying like, honey, thank you so much. Like you just praying at dinner. Thank you. I really like that. All of a sudden he's like, chest is blown up. Like he feels good. Like this is like, so men to break free, repent, re-engage, start speaking again. Speak life over your wife, over your kids daily. Like speak scripture in your home. Again, silence is never neutral. So fill the atmosphere with God's word, with his truth. Take spiritual leadership. And if you don't know, just start praying with your wife. Even if it's awkward. I used to pray in the dark when we first got married with Shannon because I felt awkward praying in front of her. So we turned the lights off and I would pray in the dark with her.
This guy.
But listen, pray with your spouse. Even it's like, God, thank you for my wife. Thank you for my kids. I'm so grateful. Simple. Start praying. It starts breaking that cycle. It sets a tone for your home. Practice courage in the small things. Practice courage in the small things,
That's
guys.
really good.
Like leadership isn't loud. It's
No.
just consistent action in the right direction over a period of time. It doesn't have to be loud. Doesn't have to be big. Just consistent action in the direction.
Well, your character is developed in what you do when absolutely nobody's paying attention.
Yeah.
It's not when you're in center stage.
Absolutely. And I would tell you the last thing, men, to break this is surround yourself with men who will call you higher.
Yeah.
Like we don't always want that. I'd rather sit in this. I'd rather like be the victim of this, but you are not a victim. So surround yourself with men who will call you higher, who will challenge you. Tell these men to ask you the questions that you would not reveal or you would not talk about unless they asked you. Like that's an important thing. Like here's the list of questions that if you don't ask me these things, I probably won't tell you of the truth of what needs to happen. So isolation feeds passivity.
Yeah.
Do not isolate yourselves. Accountability will fuel action, will fuel you and move you forward.
Yeah.
I know I'm kind of preaching here to the guys, and so I'm sorry I'm taking a lot of
freaking
time.
love
but,
it.
Like,
This is
you know,
so good.
iron sharpens iron, and
Yeah.
that's what it is. So men,
Yeah.
your silence isn't harmless. It's not harmless. It's costly. And every day that you choose passivity, you're handing the microphone to the enemy.
Yeah.
You're inviting them in. You're
So
inviting them in. And we have seen marriages who have broken, they have divorced, they haven't reconciled because of apathy and passivity.
Yeah.
We have seen it happen firsthand. Your wife needs your words. Your wife needs your presence. Your
She needs
wife
your
needs your time.
leadership.
Your wife needs your leadership. Your wife needs and deserves your obedience to God first and foremost, and she gets the benefits of the overflow of that. So today is the day you break out of silence. So today is the day you pull your head out of the sand, you get in the fight, because no man drifts into good leadership. It's going to be intentional. You're going to step into it on purpose. You're going to rise that place that God has for you.
Yeah.
Passivity builds a blurry legacy, and that's not what you want. You want something that's clear. And so if this is a call to you, if this is a mandate, a call to action, like enough is enough. You want to see change in your marriage, and we need to break that spirit of passivity that maybe you have embraced. And again, it may be difficult, and even you're just like, wow, I tried, and my wife keeps pushing back. You keep doing the right thing. Even if the wrong thing's being done, man, you stand up, you keep pushing in, you keep loving your wife, you keep pursuing her, because you will stand before God and you will give an account for your wife, for your children. And I want you to hear the words, my brother, well done, good and faithful servant. So get your head out of the sand. Let's end it with that.
Wow.
Sound good?
Yeah, now all the men scrape themselves off the floor and put themselves back together.
Listen, we say it because we love you.
Yes.
We say it because we love
Of
you.
a deep conviction.
And men, like like I believe men make or break relationships,
Yes.
marriages. They really do. And there's a mantle that God has put on this, and it's not always easy. So I get it. I'm with you. I hear you. But you're not alone, and you don't have to go this alone. So make sure you're connecting with us. Make sure you're getting into our resources.
Yes.
Follow us, like, subscribe. We're grateful that you're part of this.
Yeah.
And yes, we talk about men a lot, and I get on men's cases a lot.
We do.
But that's just the way it is.
And it's not going to change.
And I do it because I have a heart for you, you men. I have a heart for
Yeah.
marriage and for couples. And I want you guys to see and rise up to be the men that God has invited you to be. And it's an incredible
Yeah.
privilege and an honor and a mantle to be able to do that. So,
And thank you to our 23 Media family. This podcast would not be possible without them. So we want to give them a shout out. Thank you to them. And remember, in marriage, you don't have to.
you get to.
Bye, guys.
We'll talk to you soon. Please come back. We'll see you later.